It's time to rendezvous with cassidoo. Boo! Hey everybody, my name is Cassidy. I have a weekly newsletter called Rendezvous with Cassidoo, where I talk about web links of the week, stuff I'm up to, stuff you're up to, a joke, some practice coding, and more. And this is that newsletter in video form. Without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, so first of all, for the quote, "The worst enemy to creativity is self-doubt" by Sylvia Plath. And I thought that was very true because I think a lot of people who want to be creative, myself included, they think about what needs to be perfect and all of the obstacles to get there and their own limitations, and they don't just do the thing. And I'm speaking to myself when I see this. I feel like that sometimes you just need to stop that type of thinking to be able to be a bit more creative, which is easier said than done. I hope you all had a great week. Mine was very nice, very fun. The weather was good, can't complain. And once again, fall is coming. It's really nice to be out of like the 90-degree Fahrenheit weather and like solidly in the 60s and 70s. It's been great. Anyway, we've got some fun web links of the week. So the first one is HTML can do that. And it's truly just talking about things that HTML can do. There's a lot of new HTML tags and stuff out there that some of them I was introduced to in this article where you can do a whole lot on the web now without needing JavaScript, which is always nice because it's less load for your users and just built into your browsers. And so I thought that was a really nice little guide to things that HTML can do. The next article is from Anil Dash talking about this hardware project that he made where he basically wanted to be able to have Touch ID, but not use one that is built into a Mac keyboard or something. And so anyway, he built a cool one and it has like a little tutorial of parts and everything of how he did that. And I thought that was neat. This third article about introducing OJ, a Rust build tool that speaks Vite. Basically, this developer open sourced a tool that lets them run a Vite config, but in Rust, and how it was faster for their specific use case. Your mileage may vary. They show you all the reasons why they did it and the instructions on how to use it yourself. But I think this is a cool thing where when you have these really, really specific tools for your use cases, you can kind of be as creative as you want to make it work for whatever tools that you want. And it might not be for everyone. They very specifically say this is not for everyone, but it's still very cool. And finally, for Death to Pixels, long live CH. Browsers, screens, a lot of things are not consistent now. And if you want readable text, if you just say, oh, I want something to be at least 10 pixels wide or whatever, pixels are different sizes now in various different windows. And so this developer talking about it is saying that the CH unit in CSS is a way to make it so your text on a given page will be readable on certain screens. And I liked how they phrased it and their reasoning for that. Now, for something that interested me this week, my family has really gotten into this YouTube channel called Quantum Makers. It's incredible. It's just people like building things and cleaning things. And it's nice because it's not so engaging with like big camera changes and stuff that my toddlers are just staring at it like zombies. But it's really cool to see what people can build. Where I linked to a couple at the bottom. There was this one woman who did a solo project, who knows how solo it actually was, of building a self-sustaining farmhouse. It was fascinating. That video was a solid hour and a half, and the entire time we were like, is she building a windmill? Or is she building a water tower? Is she making a whole chicken coop? Like, it was incredible, all the things that she was building. And then there was someone building a mini villa where they full-on used bricks and real vegetation and made this whole actual house with proper construction, but tiny. Anyway, it's a very entertaining channel, not sponsored in any way. I just thought it was really, really cool, and it might be something you like too. For the sponsor this week, there isn't one. Haha! But please share this with your friends, smash that subscribe button, stuff like that. Now, for the interview question of the week, last week I had you pack rectangles and you could rotate them and put them all inside a larger rectangle. This week's question, given an array of integers, return a new array where the odd numbers come first, the even numbers come next, and the zeros appear at the end. And you should preserve the relative order of elements. So it's a partitioning the array question. You can do this very simply depending on the language that you use. And so I'm curious to see all of the different responses that have come in and will come in, seeing if people take like the shortcut way where there's some functions that are built into certain languages that just do it, or if they do it a more manual way. There's a lot of options here. If you'd like to submit an answer, you can drop it in the YouTube comments here, respond to the email, or send it to me on socials. As long as I get it, I will credit you in the next issue. And for some cool things around the internet, the golden rule for becoming a better writer: read. That's the summary of the article. Spoiler alert. But there's some really in-depth things basically saying that if you really want to be a better writer, you should read more. I also think you should just write more in general. And once again, I'm speaking to myself. I want to write more, but sometimes it's hard. But anyway, I thought it was a good kick in the pants to read a little bit more. Now, for the next article, scientists released the biggest 2D map of the universe. It's so cool. It's something like 5.6 trillion pixels, speaking of pixels, large. It's huge, and it's really cool to see all of like the galaxies and things that scientists were able to put together into this gigantic map. This next article is satire, where it's, if you really think about it, Everything Makes You Poop by Taylor Farms. And if you know anything about the different diseases that are circling around the US, you know who Taylor Farms is. Just know there's controversies, there's poop, and this is a very funny satirical article. And then finally, this last link, it's a cool keyboard. DSS Neon Lights is an older keycap set, and this person had waited for like the perfect keyboard to put the caps on, and it's a good looking tiny board. You should check it out. And finally, for the joke. When I first met my spouse, they were dressed head to toe in muslin, and they smelled of beeswax and honey. And I thought, that's a keeper. Ah, 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 ah. Well, everybody, that is all for this week. I hope you have a good week. Be safe, make good choices, and take a walk around your neighborhood. The weather is generally nice. It's good to be outside, get some fresh air, and not be in front of a screen at all times. All right, I'll see you next week. Bye!